What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Today I've got two mentally entitled parent stories for you, so let's jump straight into the first one. Entitled mum thinks I have to give her child my skateboard. So this happened a few days ago. I like to skateboard and recently I decided to get back at it and got a new board since it's been years since I've been out skateboarding. I went to the skate shop and got me a new board, and since I had a lot of time to spare and I was already outside, I thought I'd take advantage and go to the nearest skate park to test it out and have a bit of fun. Since I've been in lockdown with a lot of pent up energy and stress, haven't we all? So I went to the skate park. Now next to the skate park there's a playground, so it's common for kids to invade the skate area that is already horrible, to the point that skateboarders had to add obstacles to the park to skate. I skated for a while and sat down for a bit to rest since I'm out of shape and not used to skating anymore like before. I sat on one of the benches at the skate park with the board under my feet trying to catch my breath again. The park was kinda empty since it was around 3 PM and we're in the middle of Miss Rona. There were a few kids on the playground and on the skate park, so one kid comes to me mesmerized at the skateboard and asks me if he can take a ride on it since they never had a skateboard before and he liked it a lot. I wasn't using it, so I let him skate for a while until I was good enough to go back to use the skateboard. In the past, I skated a lot in this park, and a few kids in the past have asked if they could use my skates or switch skates or even skate together, especially little girls since I'm a girl and they are not used to see girls skateboarding. I said, sure, go ahead. I'll go buy a bottle of water and I'll be right back. Take care of it, okay? The kid said okay and started to skateboard. There's a bar kind of thing in front of the park, so I went there to buy a bottle of water and I kept my eye on the kid in the park. I went back and sat on the bench again. The kid came to me asking for help for some stuff, like pushing and going on some ramps. I didn't want him to get hurt, so I taught him how to push properly and to bend his knees when you skate up a ramp. He skated for a bit more until he gave it back to me and thanked me, and now here is where the problem begins. When the kid gives me back the skateboard, his entitled mum comes up to me and starts. So you were the one who gave my son the skateboard? Yeah, I lended it to him for a while since he asked politely. Well, if he was polite, why didn't you let him stay with it? I was confused, so I answered. I don't understand. Give my skateboard to him? Yeah, you weren't even using it, so you don't need it. I'm sorry, Mum, but I can't do that. I bought it for me to get some exercise, and I don't know you. Even if I did know you, the skateboard is mine. I can't give it to your son. She scoffed like she wasn't believing me. How dare you be such a brat? My son has never had a skateboard, and you saw how happy he was using it. You could buy him one. Skateboards for beginners are not that expensive, and it's a great investment. No, I want you to give him yours. Can't you stop being selfish? Just give it to him and buy another one for you. This was getting out of hand, so I stood up and kept talking politely to her. Mom, again, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can recommend you a skate shop here with good prices though. But I couldn't even finish the phrase as she tried to get the skateboard from my hand, so I hugged the board to get out of her reach and told her to stop. Where are your parents? I want to talk to them and tell them you're not giving my son what's his. I'm 19 and have a baby face, but I work. I'm an artist and get all my money from commissions, and I was done with this woman. Mom, we are both adults. If I got this skateboard because I work for it and paid for it with my own money, I'm not going to give it to your son. You can buy one for him if you want. I'm not a charity centre to give my things out to strangers. The woman tried to get my skateboard again, but this time I was so done and annoyed that I put it on the floor and skated out of the park. She kept yelling how I was selfish and was not giving her son my skateboard and how I stole from her son. I was tired and done. I left the park on my board so I could go fast enough so that the entitled mum wouldn't come after me. It's kind of a shame in this one. I feel like this entitled mum just ruined the entire experience for her kid. The kid seemed like super polite, you know? Came up to Opie, asked politely if they could have a go on the skateboard, had a go, didn't break it, you know, asked for help even, and then when they were done just gave it back and they were done with it. Just very grateful for the opportunity. Whereas the entitled mum clearly just ruined that entire experience, as I said, and then said, oh yeah, you need to give it to my son now. I mean, why? No one ever thinks like that, come on. You know, part of me feels like you want to see should have just picked up your skateboard, cocked it back, and then smashed the entitled mum with it. Although that is probably a terrible idea and is obviously assault. So yeah, don't do that in the future. That's the kind of way that you may want to deal with an entitled parent at some point in your head. But yeah, obviously don't do that in real life. That was a little bit extreme, wasn't it? Yeah, OP, what you did was very calm and collected. Fair play. That's better than what I would have done, clearly. Oh, and by the way, guys, a lot of you were asking me about the coloured Redditor t-shirts because I didn't have any photos of them last time around. But you know, I'm wearing one right now. Let me know what you think. You can see the design. It's a little bit different on the coloured tees. We've got red, pink, yellow, green, blue. Just go and check them out. They're really cool. I'm not actually going to lie. These might be my favourites. Link to these, as always, is in the description, the pinned comment, and in the merch shelf down below. It's super simple to go and check them out. Yeah, please do. Now moving on to our second story. Entitled Aunt Tried to Use My Parents to Steal From Me. Now, I honestly never thought that my parents would be stupid enough to be caught like this. They've never done anything like this to my other siblings, but hey. This incident happened because my aunt decided to lie and try and steal from me. What a lovely aunt you have right there. So, a few years back, I moved out of the family home and I bought my own home. A nice little place I could call my own and do my own crazy ideas that I couldn't really get away with before. Naturally, I'd given my parents a spare key just in case there was an emergency or I forgot to return something. Now, after a while of living on my own and saving a few quid here and there, I managed to get my gaming room / nerd cave all set up. Me and my old man built a custom desk so I could have my Xbox, my computer, and my Switch. It's not a fancy setup like I've seen online, but I love it, even more that the desk is mine. There are a few wobbly cuts, paint's not dried like I thought it would, but it's perfect to me. So naturally, after finishing it and testing it, making sure that things were in reach when I sat down, I had to show off. So a few pictures were taken and shared online, because the internet is mainly for bragging and showing off, yeah, you're right. I had a message from my aunt saying that as I'm an adult, I shouldn't be playing silly games and that I should give her kids the Switch. Naturally, I said no, but I promised if I got bored with it, I will message her offering the first chance to buy it. I don't think she approved as she left me on red. Well, imagine getting left on red by your aunt. That is mad. That all happened at the start of the year, but then the pandemic hit and I thought nothing more of it. Now, after most of the year being on furlough, restrictions are easing off and I'm back at the office working. The other day, I got a call from my mum. She's at my place with my auntie to pick up the Switch I'd promised to my cousins. Now, I had let a friend of mine borrow it because him and his wife were thinking about one and wanted to try it. I told my mum, just wait, I'm finishing in a few minutes and I'll be there. I get home and sure enough, I see mum's car and my auntie's car. I burst through the door and make mum and auntie jump. I say, looking at my aunts, what do you bloody think you're doing here? I'm here for that Switch. You said I could have it. I said if I get rid of it, I'll sell it to you. My mum said, but you told me you bought it off of him. Well, it ain't here. Well, I'll take the other thing. I started walking to her before mum calmed me down. Get out now, and I never want to see your face here. If I do, I'm calling the police. My aunt quickly left, and mum started apologizing to me and told me how my aunt said she had bought it off me, but she had also said that we were struggling to organize a time for her to pick it up. I looked at her, and all I could say was I want my spare key back. Now I'm being bombarded by my sister and brother about how I made my mum cry. But I asked them, how would you like it if mum was going through your stuff and giving away your expensive belongings? Yeah, OP, I'm not gonna lie, I think you're being a bit harsh there. Your mum only had it in everyone's best interest. I mean, I assume that you can trust your aunt, you know, it's her sister. She probably believes that she can trust her, but, you know, she just got it wrong on this occasion. It wasn't your mum's fault though. I mean, your aunt did say to her, this is a transaction that we have actually agreed on, so your mum would be a bit weird to say, no, I'm not gonna, you know, agree with you. I'm not gonna help you out in making that transaction happen and in helping you going to get the Switch. Yes, I get what you're gonna say. I can read the comments already, guys. I know you're all typing down there. I know what you're gonna say. Maybe the mum should have checked with OP first, and that is probably what I would have done. But this is definitely not your mum's fault, and OP, you definitely shouldn't have got at her and taken away the spare key and making her cry. That was a bit of a D move, let's just say that. But, you know, moving on to your aunt, yeah, very entitled woman. Nothing more I can say about her apart from the fact that she is crazy and entitled and a bit manipulative, well, a lot manipulative, very toxic, and ultimately she is a thief. Like, if you're trying to steal something, even from your family member, you are a thief. I'm sorry to say that. Guys, comment down below. Is OP... I don't want to use a bad word here, but is OP a bit up himself, a bit arrogant perhaps, a bit short-fused, a bit short-tempered, just because I don't know how you could possibly have a go at your mum here. I've said it already. She's trying to be nice to the family, trying to be nice to her sister, and ultimately trying to be nice to you because she is helping the aunt get the Switch when you're not there. So I don't see the problem with that. Yes, you got it wrong, but, you know, it wasn't that much of a bad deal, was it? I'm just reading through the comments, and everyone's like, oh, your mum was foolish to believe her. No, put this in a real world perspective where you don't know that your aunt is entitled, and just think, if you have a sister that you've known for, let's say, 40 years plus, you're probably going to trust them. I mean, like, it's just a common human thing to do, is trust your sister. So I don't understand why the comments are getting at her here. I'm not getting at her at all. I think, as I've already said, that OP went a bit too far. But yes, of course, your aunt is entitled. Just don't speak to her again. Pretty simple. Anyway, boys and girls and men and women and grandparents, especially you, the grandparents, I'm talking to you right now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know you're probably laughing at me, but there is actually a small percentage of people that watch this that apparently, according to my analytics, are over the age of 60. Pretty interesting stuff. Shout out to the 6-year-olds, including my granny, who is probably watching right now. Shout out to you. What a weird outro this has been. If you want more, click the end screen, subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow with some more content.